I have not talked to the leadership yet. I plan to.
Some of the proponents of the bill say it could bring, the tax it could bring in several $billions.
Yes. Mr. McDermott is working on that. We have, as you know, strict jurisdictional lines here. But as Mr. King said, look, we're not talking about, you don't have to be talking about taxing this excessively. But yeah, first of all, there's the money that people earn. They pay income tax. I mean, when people engage in illegal activity, the share of the taxes goes out. Mr. McDermott will be introducing legislation. Am I right, Kelly, today? You can talk to Congressman McDermott, who is introducing legislation. By the way, one significant co-sponsor here is Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley, who, as you know, represents Las Vegas and is on the Ways and Means Committee. Because there was some concern before from some of the people in the offline gambling that was competitive. There's still some opposition there, but Shelley Berkeley's support for this, I think, is a good indication there.
You think you'll get support because of the tax provisions and easy way to tax?
I think that will help with some people, sure. I will have to say this. I do not think the fact that it will bring additional tax revenue to the federal government is a primary reason that Ron Paul is supporting this bill.
Have you had any conversations with anyone in the administration about this?
Not yet, nope. No, I plan to. But I frankly wanted, I didn't want to ask permission. I wanted to do it and have the showing of support that we have, and there are a lot of members who are co-sponsors, and a lot of people. Look, I think what you've got is this is a grassroots issue. Congress kind of sneaked up on the American people by doing this. And a lot of people who are not terribly political woke up one day to find out that something they enjoy doing that's a good hobby for them, that doesn't hurt anybody else, we had suddenly criminalized. And I know a lot of my colleagues have been hearing from people who enjoy using the internet for this purpose. So I wanted, frankly, to when I do, and I will obviously talk to the leadership of the House, and I'll talk to the administration, but I wanted to have some indications of support when I did it.
The American Gaming Association has kind of been neutral on this. How important do you think if they were to endorse it to get?
Well, it would be helpful. That's why I think Shelley Berkeley's endorsement is, because look, the offline gambling is a very important industry, which I think plays a major role. I think if it was seen as a threat to them, it would be a problem. You wouldn't have Shelley Berkeley's support if that were the case.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the protections in there to ensure that
The which?
some of the protections in there to, that your critics are accusing of this?
Yeah. First of all, some of them are, of course, people who are generally opposed to restrictions on the internet. There's a little bit of inconsistency there. But there are very strict standards. One, for licensing the people who do this. This would allow, this requires licensing to become one of the internet gambling purveyors. Criminal history, credit history of the applicant, senior executives, suitability qualification. We took from the Nevada law a lot of the rules about who should be allowed to be in the business. We've also made it very clear, states, this does not take away state authority. States can, if they want to, prohibit it. Secondly, it says no sports betting. I have to say, the expression by the professional leagues of shock at the notion that people would actually bet on games was one of the least persuasive emotional outbursts I have encountered, but we acknowledge the reality of it. And I guess you can say that if this bill passes, people can be assured that no one will be betting on professional sports games, because that's the kind of argument. And then there are also the normal, the tried restrictions in terms of young people doing it. Any other? Well, we thank you. Yes, I'm sorry.
So is it enough to actually legalise internet gambling enforcement, given that pre-existing legislation has been used in the past to...
Well, we're going to repeal the law against it. Now, by the way, it's still unclear, as an example of the oddity here, whether or not it's legal to bet on horses here. My understanding, again, is that the Justice Department and the Department of Treasury in the past administration differed on that. Justice said it was illegal. Treasury says it's legal. But you can say this, if you are a bank under these regulations, you can be sure you are going to take the most restrictive possible rule here. So I think this is a real threat. You know, people in the horse racing industry thought they might be exempted from this. If I were a counsel advising a bank, given that ambiguity, I'd have a hard time advising them to go ahead and do it. Well, we thank you all.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Peter. Kelly's got all the information.
For us, if you could just